Good afternoon, YouTube. Well, it's a lovely sunny day here. As you can see in my back garden, it's lovely and sunny today. First of all, my disclaimer. I am here to review a child's metal detector, which I have been given via a company called GreenRex to review. They have not paid me in any way, shape or form, and I am doing this review voluntarily. So this basically follows on from my review of the Rex 8 by the same company. Now this is their Rex 9. Now it is a metal detector for children. So let's have a look at the box to begin with. So not just a toy, a real tool to start treasure hunting. So we've got a colour display, an LED coil, adjustable length. It's a very nice box. So we'll start off here. We've got the product name. There you go, the REX9 by GreenRex. Details and whatnot. So on the back, we've got colour screen control box, non-slip handle, adjustable length, and there's the LED light on the coil. Now it says IP67 waterproof coil. It's not waterproof, it is weatherproof. There's a big difference, and I will point out why it's not waterproof in a minute. So you get a heavy duty rake, heavy duty trowel, and a manual and a rake. So there we go. So sunlight readable, more intuitive and kid friendly. Lights up when treasure's found, and clear feedback. So here's the heavy duty rake. Now I would suggest that this is for an adult. I don't know what age. Oh, it's claiming to be from 2 years onwards. I think that's a bit big for a 2-year-old, to be perfectly honest with you. I would have expected to have seen more user friendly than that sort of thing. And it's the same with the trowel. I mean, I would use that for gardening. I wouldn't expect a 2-year-old to turn around and use something quite this big, to be perfectly honest. But it does have some nice details on it, and it certainly feels good and strong. It doesn't bend. It's nice, good, strong plastic. The rake, on the other hand, yep, again, feels good and strong, doesn't flex too much. So let's have a look at the instruction manual. So it explains how to assemble. Nice clear instructions for assembly. Hang on, I'm trying to open it. Here we go. So 4 flashing symbols, treasure found. More flames lit, the closer the treasure. And it tells you short press to turn the device on and off the LED strip. Long press to turn the device off. Hints on how to search. And then on the front, it tells you there 1 to 2-year-old and how to get the user options in different languages. So I'll come to this part, which I think is very, very important, to be fair. This was tied to the stem. It's not mentioned anywhere in the instruction manual, which I think it should be, not just a little piece of card. So do not soak the coil in water over 1 minute. Well, it says on the box that it is waterproof. The coil is not waterproof. And I'll explain why it's not waterproof in a minute. Also, turn on in open air away from metal. Most people would automatically, even a child, would put the machine onto the floor and turn it on. This, you can't do it. You have to have the coil in the air to turn it on, or it doesn't work. And I had to clarify this with GreenRex as to why the machine wasn't turning on properly. So again, I think those are very important parts of putting that into the main instructions. So there we go. I shall now get the machine out and we will have a look at the machine itself. Right, so here's the machine itself. So that's the control panel, the control box, which comes down onto a basic stem. It's moulded plastic right the way round. Your battery cover is underneath, and I will come onto something on this battery compartment. It does actually take a 9-volt battery, and it does actually work on rechargeables, which is very, very good. Now, I have also noticed by putting a battery in, if I can hold this straight, that bit of plastic is already snapped. And all I've done is put the battery in. So that desperately needs to be looked at and altered very, very quickly, I think. Now, I'll put the case back on, which is a bit fiddly one-handed. When you put it down, it doesn't lock into place. You've got to physically push it forward to lock it. Again, no mention of that at all in the instruction manual. Next, you've got a cam lock here for when you assemble, but it doesn't actually do anything apart from lock the top bit in. You then have your cam lock down the bottom here, which is when you go to unlock it, it is a real pain because that lock doesn't grip the actual stem properly. So in order to try and unlock it, there we go. When you do unlock it, the wire inside is coiled, so it just springs back in again. So if you're trying to do it one-handed, forget it, you just can't do it. The other problem that I have is that there is no rubber bits in between here. And so no matter how tight you do these up, it's too loose. That's as tight as I can get it, and it's too loose. As you can see, the actual green bit is turning on the stem, so there's no give there, and it all just flops around. It's a pain. The other major problem that I have with the design of this machine is that the stem is plastic. All of this and the lower shaft is all plastic. Now, to me, being a kids machine, I would expect that to be in aluminium. That way then, if the child steps on the machine by accident, they're not going to snap the stem. They snap the stem on this, you can't replace it. Bang goes your metal detector. Oh. And we all know how clumsy children can be. So, those are the bad points. I'll get to the even worse one in a minute. So, as this is the very first review to go out of this machine, there's no other, I am the first one to actually review this machine. What do I like about it so far? For a kid's machine, it's very, very interesting. So, let's turn it on. There we go. So that's our screen. I'll try and get it as close as I can. So we've got Mr. Dinosaur. He shoots flames when we get to a target. So I'm going to go over here. I've got some targets littered about. So we'll start off with this one, with a Jew's heart. We'll come right in close to Mr. Dinosaur. Right. So he spits flames. And the closer you get, the more flames he spits. When you're within very, very close range, everything flashes to tell you that you've definitely got treasure. Now this is also where the LED lights are supposed to come on. But they won't come on. No matter what I try, and it tells you that to short press, the LED lights are supposed to come on. So I think, as this being the prototype model, I think mine aren't working properly. So I'm hoping that they would get that sorted out pretty quickly. So we've got a piece of lead. Now I'm going to try and see. I can't really film it very well, but for lead it's about 4 inches. Pound coin, that's about 2 inches. Big copper penny, that picks that up at about 4 inches. And yes, the sound is super, super annoying, isn't it? You would have thought it would cut off after maybe a second or something, so that you can keep using it, but it's just constantly making that noise. I would find that super annoying, but hey. But yes, we've got pound coins, we've got old copper pennies, we've got an old shoe buckle, some great big piece of lead, 5p piece, which we've got really close to, and the big Jew's harp, which is it's good 5 inches. So it definitely works. So there we go. Now comes the sticking point. This machine is going to be released in the US of A fairly soon, I believe, at a cost of $80. I'll let that sink in for a minute. $80. At the current price, that is 60 Great British pounds. Like I said, I would have expected the stem, especially the lower part of the stem, to be made of aluminium. The coil should be waterproof, and it's not. And I was going to show you for why, and that is why. The coil wire just goes straight into the back end of the coil. There's no grommet there. There's no waterproofing to keep the water out, which is why they tell you not to keep it in water for over a minute, because the water will get in the coil and boom, bang goes your detector. So It's not waterproof at all. I would say it was weatherproof at the best. To be fair, I wouldn't be taking this out into the field. I would be looking at this as to going into the park, but because none of the segments on the actual screen eliminate so that you can't actually see what it is, you're going to have to dig every single signal, whether that be ring pull, whether that be a pound coin, whether that be a hypodermic needle, which is not very good, especially for what they're asking for to charge. I mean, come on, you can go on to web addresses that you can spend $80 or £60 on another even basic machine and probably get more functionality from it. But for a child of aged 2, I would probably say yes if the lights worked, which mine don't. If you were to turn around and have, say, that top bit would be better if it could be more collapsible than what it is. You can take the cam lock off and you can take that top stem out, but the cable goes all the way up to the control box, so you can't actually split it. You have to, separate the actual stem and then have this bit like folded around here, which is going to constantly put pressure on the coil wire inside, which again, if you were putting it into a child's backpack, probably would be okay, but if it's going to be used a lot, it's not going to be ideal, because the wires eventually are going to snap inside it and ruin the detector anyway. So for me, you'd be better off keeping it as it is, which would not go into a child's backpack. An adult's one probably would struggle at the size that it is. Also, for the weight for a 2-year-old, it's very, very nose heavy. Where the coil is, it's very heavy. There's no counterbalance at the back end. So it's going to wear a child out quite quickly unless they are using it virtually straight like that. And that's going to be quite, that's pendulum swinging, which is not teaching the child properly how to do it. So again, there are problems with this machine. I like the screen on it. I like the actual way that it works to a degree, but I think there could be an awful lot more refinements done to this before it was released. Shame. It's such a shame that their Rex 8 is such a good machine. They could have made this an awful lot better. Such a shame. Anyway, that's my review of the new REX9. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video.